Okay, just a quick video today. Just recently come back from England, and I've got a couple of videos that I'm gonna upload. I don't think they're gonna really be that interesting, but I don't know. I mean, I watch lots of videos of people just talking random stuff. So I must, at some stage, someone must surely click on and look at my videos. And I mean, some of my views have got 12 views. I mean, I've not got millions like, what's his name, Kirky Talks, that I watched a couple of weeks ago. I mean, the video he did, 16 hours ago here, he's got 4.6 thousand views already. And that's the kind of level I'm kind of looking to get, hopefully, with some of my videos. Anyway, so I've got a lot of videos open here on my screen at the moment, of videos that I think I'm just gonna make comments on them. I see loads of these videos, you know, the algorithm's pumping them all into my feed now, about people leaving the UK and basically just running away. I think I mentioned that in another video, but I thought I'd just do a quick one today, just to basically say I've got a couple of videos I did when I was back in the UK. I'm going to pump them out, and then I think from next week I want to try to, I don't know, maybe even each day. I don't know if that's too much. I mean, they say for you to go up in the algorithm, you have to be consistent and keep putting videos out and such like. So I don't know, half of me kind of just sort of thinks maybe if I just do like a video diary, you know, each day, sort of just let out my feelings and my thoughts. But the main thing is, you know, the first video I want to do, I mean, I think I'm going to have two videos that are basically me back in the UK. I went back to the UK for my birthday and my daughter's birthday. I've now turned 47. Jesus, just look at my beard, it's all white, beautiful. Just had a nice trim up this morning before having a shower. So yeah, I'm now 47 and unemployed and living in Italy and struggling. I've had all sorts of, I mean, last year was awful. I had the worst, I mean, not gonna lie, but I thought numerous times about suicide, numerous times. But the only reason I'm still here and I keep going every single day is for both of my daughters. I don't know if you can see, let's have a quick look up here. My daughter's up here. That's me, Olivia, and baby Julia. But Julia's now 6 years old. Here she is over here. Don't know if you saw any of that. And that's the whole reason I'm still here, basically. But I'm determined. I mean, I've got 1,001 plans. I don't know whether or not I have some form of adult ADHD or autism or something, but I have so many ideas of things that I want to do, but I can just never get to doing any of them, and everything's all just a mission. I mean, I know it's probably because I'm struggling from severe depression, and most days, you know, it's kind of a bit of a struggle to even get out of bed. But I get out of bed some, you know, most days. I have a bit of a vision. I've mentioned it a few times in some of my videos that I'm doing a YouTube channel with my daughter here in Italy, because the last 6 years has been hard for me. I mean, I moved from the UK in 2018 with a 12-month or 18-month-old child, basically, to Italy. My missus is Italian, and I said also in other videos, this apartment that I'm in here now is completely paid off, no mortgage to pay, no rent to pay. Basically, it was more ideal for us to move to here than to have to keep paying. I mean, we were paying like 2,500 a month, I think, when we was living in London. We were literally living at a place called Greenland Dock, which is literally across the river from Canary Wharf. So you'd get onto a Thames Clipper ferry, and it would take 60 seconds from Canary Wharf to go across the river to basically what is Canada Water ultimately, and Surrey Quays, and just up the road from Rotherhithe basically. But yeah, we was literally paying £2,500 a month for our rent. Then we obviously had to pay electricity and all of that stuff on top. Then we had, in the early days we used to have to get like each week we'd have to get Oyster card updates for getting on the tube to go to work. So I worked in a like a startup, a tech company basically, that first of all started out in London Bridge, and then they moved out sort of what was it called? Can't even remember what it was called. Cross Harbour, yeah. So just outside of Canary Wharf, another little town called Cross Harbour. So they moved to there, and I can't remember how many years they was there. But ultimately, funnily enough, actually, there was this thing going on about, was his name Robert Jenrick? So Robert Jenrick did something dodgy about some donor who wanted to sell off some buildings or something and turn them into apartments, and Robert Jenrick did something dodgy, like he didn't put them out to tender or something, and I can't remember what exactly it was. Anyway, those buildings, funnily enough, was the building across the road, I know for certain, was one of the buildings that, was one of the buildings basically. And it was, I think it might have been, it had loads of newspapers and such like in it, or the People magazine and such like in it. I can't even remember, but across the road from there anyway was where I was working, which there's now basically turned into apartments. They basically came along one day and basically told the company, right, you've got to find somewhere to move because we're turning all of these into apartments. So they basically moved back to London Bridge. Can't even remember what the reason why I was telling you that. Can't remember. Anyway, I'm rambling again as usual. I watched back some of the videos that I did when I was in England, and sometimes I start sentences and I just ramble and I never finish what even it was that I was going on about. This is part of the problem in my brain. It's just a jumble. It's like I've got 10,000 things that I want to put out there. Anyway, I've got all of these. I started a YouTube channel with my daughter here in Italy to try and teach. Ultimately, I've come back. I've remembered. So ultimately, I moved 2018, and for the last however many years it's been since then, my daughter has grown and grown and grown. She lives here in Italy, and she basically she's just Italian, even though she was born in London and has an English father and another English side of her family. Majority of her life is she just sees herself as an Italian. She's actually not. She's born in the UK and she is basically English. My missus also took the test in the UK to give her British citizenship. So ultimately, I would say my daughter's British, but with Italian roots as well. But I've had to deal with my daughter growing up more and more and not understanding anything. I'm desperately trying to learn Italian, but it really is not an easy language to learn, especially for someone like me who, even in English, I'm basically dyslexic. I'm not so bad. My dyslexia is more to do with maths. I'm shit with maths. Calculic, I think it is called, when it's dyslexic for numbers. But at the same time, in English, I still struggle to spell. Classic example, it was up on my notice board over here, but on a note paper. Definitely, the word definitely. Even now, after 47 years, I still can't spell it correctly. So I had to write it basically on a post-it note and stick it up on my notice board. So whenever I needed to, use it, I would always have to check it. But also another example as well, I'm born in February. I can't even spell February. I can't even spell the month, that I was born in. I still get it a bit wrong. But yeah, ultimately my daughter's basically been speaking to me in Italian all of this time, and I'm struggling to try and even understand my own daughter. So this is where the spiral has begun for my brain. I've realized that I should really I've never come to this country, really. I'm not happy here. I'm a lot more happy back in the UK, even with all the problems that the UK has. I've come here and realized that the problems are just as much here. That's ultimately my point. So that's why I started a YouTube channel. My girlfriend used to say to me, for a job in Italy, that I should teach English. Now, when I've looked into doing that, a lot of the places need you to have some kind of a certificate or something in teaching. So it's not as easy as just doing that. So the next best thing after that was just doing conversational English with anyone that wants to practice their English. Maybe they've been learning at school, or business people. But to be fair, I'm not really that bothered. I'm not really that interested in doing it with business people. I mean, business just bores the shit out of me. So I'm quite interested to do it for younger people, like teenagers and younger people. I think I'd have a lot more in common with them, and it'd be a lot more interesting. So ultimately I set up the YouTube channel for my daughter to not only learn English better herself, but it's also teaching her friends from school and anyone else that clicks on the YouTube channel. I basically want to make it a proper structured course for kids, because I've noticed a lot on YouTube, there's so many people doing languages in Italian, but so many of them, even for the kids, are adults, teaching it to kids, but you don't really ever see many actual kids teaching it. And I mean, I've watched my daughter watching her phone, and as soon as there's another child comes on the screen, that's it, she's engaged. She's watching the other child, everything that they do. So I thought, it'd be nice to have a child actually learning the language and teaching other children. It'd be a lot more interesting for a child than watching an adult dressed up as a silly character pretending to be a child, basically, which I find just ridiculous, ludicrous. So I started doing that. So that's my main vision, my main thought of trying to do that. I've got so many different things that I want to do. I mean, also as well, adding to that, my daughter watches a lot of these videos of someone who's basically started a channel, and they do lots of stories and scenes and stuff with Barbie. I'm just looking at a Barbie up on the shelf up here, and she would sit there for hours and just watch these Barbies, people playing with these Barbies and doing stuff. She would watch it for hours. So from that also, I kind of thought, well, I want to try and incorporate Barbie into some of the lessons that my daughter does. So my whole mission now is to, I mean, some of the times I'm doing it with AI. Sometimes I have taken a lot of photos as well of all of my daughter's toys, and I'm just trying to search for one now that I've done. Oh, where is it? Here it is. Let's just look at this one. Spinning around. So look, here's all of these different ones. So we've got Barbie in the doctor's surgery, and basically my idea was, because we saw another video, there is one actual other channel that I've seen where there's a girl who teaches languages, but she's all over the place. She does I mean, I think she's actually from Colombia, maybe, or I mean, she does stuff in Spanish, she does stuff in Italian, English, Portuguese, French. She's doing all languages, and I think it's just a mishmash. And I just want to focus just, you know, on English for Italian children. So this girl was doing something about, you know, a doctor's surgery, a quick clip in a doctor's surgery. I'll see if I can find that as well quickly. So what's her name? Isabel Love. So can you see this? So she's doing all of these. Where's the one with the doctor's surgery? Colombia Italiano, non lo so, I don't know. Anyway, one of these was something to do with her being in a doctor's surgery, and she was explaining stuff, you know, from Spanish into English, I think, you know, sort of explain what cough is, a sneeze, and all of that jazz. So that got me thinking, and I thought, well, with my daughter's channel, with Julia Connor J, it's called. I'll quickly show you that as well as I'm here. So here's Julia Connor J. That's channel analytics. Where's my actual channel? So there's some of the videos. So it got me thinking, I could do all these different, you know, like I can have separate different parts, like having set up a playlist. So I could have one that's Julia's surgery, and she can talk about medical stuff, maybe even science related stuff, don't know. Then the one that I want to do with her this weekend is Julia's art school. So in that one we're going to do lots of creative stuff and making things. Then we've got Julia's cafe, so we can do stuff, you know, she's ordering a coffee and ordering cake, and there's all different sorts of ones. Julia's salon, you know, getting her hair cut and all of these sorts of things. So that's my main focus. But then as well as that, I've got 1,001 different ideas of other YouTube channels and things that I can do. So I've also started one that's going to basically talk about Manchester United stuff, because I'm a Man United supporter. But again, that's using AI. I've created a nice AI face, like a red devil's face, and I've done one video, and I think it's only got a couple of views so far, but I can really up my game with that. Then I want to do one for my local in the UK, like my local area, and because on Facebook I'm in part of a group and people always posting photos, old photos, Maidenhead history. But then I think, you know, I could be doing those as videos instead of people posting like pictures. I can do proper videos and maybe try and get lots of people viewing, you know, lots of hits of people viewing my videos for that. Then there's also, my dad's a steam train enthusiast, so there's all sorts of things that we can do with that. Another one as well, I mean, I'm thinking about, I think they term it as evergreen videos, which people keep coming back to, you know, videos that are, you know, 3 years from now, people will still be coming back to it because it would be relevant and useful. But one thing for me is I think about all the forms and everything and stuff that you have to fill out when you come here to Italy. So I thought, well, I could be making videos about that to explain to people. So instead of them having to go and read lots of stuff, you know, on the internet, they could just click on a quick video that will explain to you what forms you need to do and what you need to do to move to Italy. So these are all ideas of stuff that I've got to do, and somehow one day I'll get around to doing all of it. I mean, the problem is, it's just, I've got so much time, but I haven't got so much time. It's just not enough hours in a day. I mean, after dropping my daughter to school, before you know it, she's coming back from the school. Anyway, I'll stop the video here because it's just about coming up to 20 minutes. and I'm going to get on with the other videos so I can post them. See you later.